Hello and welcome. My name is Dan Faringer. I'm the professor for your CPS 121 class here the spring of 2025. And I wanted to give you a video because we have an unusual situation here. We have our first week, but we only meet Mondays, and the first week doesn't have a Monday. So we can't lose a week, and that's why I'm making this video, and I have some work for you folks to do before we actually meet the very first time in class. So instead of wasting class time doing a couple things like the syllabus and reviewing D2L, I'm going to do that right now. So here we go. I'm in Zoom. This is where we're going to meet that first Monday. I think it's the 27th. And I'm going to uh, stay here in Zoom. And first thing we're going to take a look at is the syllabus. And in a minute, I'll show you where the syllabus is on your D2L page. You may have found it already, ready if you got in and looked around beforehand. All right, some information about me. I don't have an office, so I don't have a phone number, but I'm pretty good at responding to emails. This semester is spring 2025. It's 3 credits. We meet Mondays at 9:30 till 10:45. When this class is over, I have CPS 162 right away and MCPS 161 right away. So it's a busy Monday for me. But I do have office hours on Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to noon if you ever feel like you need them. How do you sign up? On something called Calendly, and I'll show you where that is on our D2L site in just a minute. All right, for this semester, we're going to be meeting by Zoom. This, as you know, this is a remote class, which means we meet by Zoom, but it's blended, which means you're responsible to do a bunch of work outside of class instead of us meeting twice a week for an hour and 15 minutes. All right, webcams. I recommend you keep it on all the time. I do better when I can see reactions from students. What you are, if you're nodding, if you're not paying attention, it does help. You're not required to. Sometimes somebody will say, "Hey, can you record the class today?" Which I do every week. And if you don't want to be on camera, then you can turn your camera off as well. But otherwise, I'd like it to be on. But if you have a reason for not, then that's what it is. It does help me to get to know you better as well. Course description, everything that we're going to be doing in this course, and hopefully you've completed Math 103 or you tested into this class. Textbooks. Starting out with Java, the 7th edition is still a text, which is great, and I like to use it. If you want, there is an online text. It's the 8th edition. It's slightly different, but there is no textbook to go with the 8th edition. I don't know if they have codes for it in the bookstore, but you can go to pearson.com, type in the ISBN number above the 13-digit ISBN number, and you can get to the actual textbook. But the 7th edition is great. As I give lectures, I'll be pointing things out by way of the 7th edition. Learning outcomes, some of you may transfer and say, "Hey, I took this computer science course, go." And they'll say, "Well, what did you do?" And this is a big part of it. They'll check out the textbook, they'll check out the learning outcomes, and some of you like to know what's going to go on in this class. And here it is, the learning outcomes. You can tell I'm fighting a little bit of a cold. Grades 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 90 is B. Up here I say tentative, subject to change. That's because some of this down at the bottom might change. As of now, we cover 8 chapters, but the one chapter does not have a quiz. You're going to have about 15 programming assignments, something called code listings, which are in your textbook, and you're going to have 3 tests. Each of those tests is going to be worth 200 points each, and for a total of just over 1,000 points. Okay? I could say, are there any questions? But this is a recording, so you can't tell me that. Quizzes. Quizzes are on D2L. I'll show you where that is in a minute. Each one is 20 points. You get 90 minutes. There is plenty of time to take it. I don't have makeups for quizzes. If you miss it, it's going to be open for 2 or 3 days. And if you miss it, then that's on you for missing it. The test and the final, you'll see those days online. We will be taking those using Respondus Lockdown Browser, and I will give you more information about it later, including a practice test. And you will have to use a side camera. The Math and Computer Science Department approved this policy, and I have no say in it, but I will give you more information about that. There may be a reason for missing a test. I understand that. Oversleeping is not a reason for missing the test. Okay, there you know what's legitimate and what's not. If you missed it for a legitimate reason, I do allow one makeup of a test in the semester, but it's got to be a pretty darn good reason, and you have to let me know right away. Okay, you can't hit me by phone, but you're going to have to hit me by email. Okay. Assignments, we have these things called code listings. I'll show you what they are in the book. And you're going to have programs that you're going to be writing. I'll show you where they are in a little bit. I don't take anything late. So don't show up with it at 12:05 and try to email it to me and say blah, blah, blah. You have plenty of time. Don't wait till the last minute to do it. Procrastinating is not very good in a computer science course. Programs, I'll give you an assignment. They're going to each be worth about 20 points. When you upload them to me, they must compile and run. I can't just guess what kind of grade to give to you if it doesn't compile and run. So you might want to do bits and pieces, make sure they work, and then keep adding to your program until, excuse me, until it actually completely works and runs. Code listings. I'll show you what these are. These are in the textbook. They're as easy as you think they're going to be. They are programs in the textbook. You will type them into our IDE, Integrated Development Environment. It's called JGRASP. And you will make sure they run. And after a couple of them, you'll start to understand why I have you doing them. You start to learn what the error messages mean when it doesn't work. You get to see what correct code looks like. You start to get finger memorization of what you should be typing. So these are simple. They're usually worth 1 point each. You type them up, make sure they run. When you get ready to do these computer programs up here, you're going to say, oh, I saw something in a code listing that's going to help me to do that program. So these are not worth a lot, but they're very important. You start skipping them, they add up quick, point-wise as well. Hate to say it, but every semester I have to withdraw 2 or 3. They think they can copy another student's code or copy something right off the internet. I mean, I have the same resources that you do, and I withdraw you. You get a grade of an F, and I withdraw you right away. No, well, you got caught once, it's a 0, but if I catch you again, yeah, I don't have time for that. If you're going to cheat, you're probably going to cheat again anyhow. Tutoring, it's hard to find tutoring for Comp Sci. You can always check with tutoring at Hack and see if they have anybody. 3/4 of the time, they'll have hired somebody who can tutor computer science. Attendance, I need you to show up. If you start missing like 2 or 3 Mondays in a row, then I am able to withdraw you. If you're going to miss a class, email me and say, whatever's going on and you can't make it. But I do track attendance and don't miss class. Withdrawal information. If you're new to Hack, you can withdraw early on and you can get some of your money back. You can withdraw up to the 70th percent of the course meetings and just get a W on your report card instead of a D or an F or something that you might get. And the other thing is, like I said, if you're missing classes, I can withdraw you. So that's what withdrawals are. Other information, here's all kind of deadlines, stuff for you to take a look at, as well as here in the student handbook. We used to give them out, but they cost too much, and most people want digital anyhow. Some folks get accommodations. They get extended time on a test. They get something or something for different classes. If you had this in high school or had it at Hack, you can get them again here. Uh, read over this, read over this policy, and here's who you can contact to get this up and running. Okay. And I will get a letter, and then I work with the student and student services as far as taking care of those accommodations. So that was briefly, you can read over the syllabus on your own, but that's what it kind of looks like. Okay. I want to ask some questions again, but I guess I really can't. All right. The next thing I'm going to share, this time we're going to take a look at our home page. And give me one moment. I have my checklist of what I want to do. Our home page, this is our D2L page. So this is where all of your action is going to go on. First thing first, up here at the top, we have what's called a navigation bar. Okay? You can see I'm signed in as a student, so this is exactly what it'll look like for you. This page you see right now is the course home page. All right? So let's see. Each week, I will put up a news item. Okay, week one. I will put up stuff other days, but every Monday you'll have something that's going on. Now, the first Monday is Martin Luther King Day, and yeah, we can't meet that day because we don't have classes, but at the same time, we cannot lose a week. So, this is what I want you to do. This is going to come up next Monday. It's actually available now. And I'm opening your class on Wednesday the 15th, so you'll be able to see it. But welcome to the first day of class. There's several things I want you to do. Start by watching the overview video. So when you click, this is what you click to watch this video that you're seeing right now. Okay. What else do we have? Starting out with chapter one. Chapter one's assignments are now available. Now, this first one, you don't need JGrasp. You need to get in and see what it's involved. And where are the assignments? Up here under Dropbox. So if I click on Dropbox, I see assignment 1.1. It opens on the 20th. It's due on the 22nd. Then you're going to see your first program, debugging. In order to do your first program, you have to get JGrasp up and running. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. There will be a post that will help you out. But on this page, you're going to see I have all of your assignments already laid out. And this is also where you're going to upload those things called code listings that I was talking about earlier. So you'll be doing a lot on this page and you'll be able to see all of your grades. Coming back to the course home. So it's that. There's these assignments I want you to get up and running. Now, in order to do 1.2 and 1.3, you need to use JGrasp. JGrasp is where we're going to type up our programs. And I'll show you a little bit what JGrasp looks like towards the end of this video. Okay? So assignment 1.2 and assignment 1.3 require JGrasp. Quiz. The first quiz is going to be available next Sunday, and I didn't make it due until Tuesday. That way we meet Monday. There'll be a lot of questions. You'll be able to get in. But chapter one is a chapter in the book that I want you to look over, and it's about some of the basics of the computer world, some of the highlights and so forth. Okay, so this is stuff you're going to be doing this first week. So you might want to get your own calendar and write them down. When we meet for class, Zoom. Everybody knows Zoom now. That should be pretty easy. Years back, I recorded all of the sections we've covered. I am going to also record the lessons this year. But like the first lesson will be all of chapter 2. So there's going to be quite a bit in that first one. If you wanted to watch smaller pieces, you could. But the new syllabus that we have, it's condensed and we need to double up. Actually, I think the first video might be 2.1 to 2.6. The second week of class, we'll be doing what you see in number 3 and number 4. All right, coming back up here. Under content, this can be useful. Here's something, turn it on, I don't know. Some stuff that's going to be under your content. The first is classroom examples. We used to meet 3 times a week for 15 weeks, and then they cut it down to 14 weeks. They cut back how much time we need. But back then, we used to do more in-class examples, and I just saved them all. So if you're working on chapter 2 and you want to see more in-class examples, you can come in here and open this up and take a look at it. Or chapter 3, you can open up and take a look at examples. But these are old examples of programs that you might want to take a look at. Skeleton, we'll talk about that later. In the textbook, your test will be multiple choice, true, false, and short answers. At the end of each chapter, there will be review questions. My advice is I'm giving you all the answers. Why not give them a try? Great way to help you study for the test. Okay. And then I have some other things in here that we'll talk about later, solutions for you to take a look at. It's all just examples of code. Discussion board. So here you're going to do your introduction. I'm going to do mine shortly, and then I'll have it in there. So this is a thread where you can get in and post your introduction, who you are, a little bit about you. Mac users. Sometimes it's a little more difficult with the Mac using JGrasp, but it's here. There's also something called VS Code that you could run. You're more than welcome to do that. But when you upload programs to me, you're going to upload the .java file. There'll be times that, say, assignment 2.3 is passed and done, and you're like, I wonder what other folks did. Well, come here to Program Solutions, because once the deadline is passed, I'm encouraging students to post their solution so others can look at it. And it's kind of that pay it forward thing where you have a good one for program 3.3, but you got stuck on 3.4. But you did post your 3.3 and it helped somebody, and you know, it might come back. Pay it forward is what it is. Sometimes students find good things. Just, oh, I found this website, blah, 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 Oracle, and here's the link, and so forth. We will be doing things in class. And if you want to discuss something, chapter 3, hey, does anybody know where to find information about if statements? Post it here. So this is a discussion board. You folks use it as you feel, you know, as you feel needed. But I encourage you, better classes usually use the discussion board more. All right, we did take a look at Dropbox already. Here's your assignments. Here's the due dates. There are no surprises. Everything's here and done. Okay, quizzes. Quizzes. You have a quiz for every chapter. It looks like 3 days. Every chapter, that is, except chapter 9. This is where you're going to come to do your test. You notice it uses Lockdown Browser. One of the things the Math and Computer Science Department approved is you must use a side camera, and I'll give you more information about that before the first test. We also will have a practice test, just to make sure you know what you're doing. It's 6 questions. It's worth 6 points. They're really not even, it's nothing you have to study for. It's more about, will your computer work? And you'll be ready to take the first test and not have any technical difficulties. Okay. Class list. Here's everybody that's in the class. Hey, Jefferson on, I'd like to email you. I know them and I'd like to send a message. Or what were you saying in class? Can you tell me a little bit more about what you were talking about? And finally, you have your grades. All of your grades will be listed here. So you'll be able to see where you are at all times. Okay. And I do grade pretty quick. That's a pet peeve of mine. And so, okay, next thing. I mentioned we're going to talk about these things called code listings. So I'm going to open my book just randomly and here we go. So let me switch cameras and hopefully this is the right one. And it is. And in your textbook, wow, this is all goofy. In your textbook, within the chapter, you're going to see this thing called a code listing. Okay, this is code listing 6.6. So if I say in the Dropbox, I want you to do code listing 6.6, you will just type this up. Make sure that it compiles with no errors, make sure that it runs and works, and then you upload it. So the code listings are mixed right in the chapters. Let me see if I can find here. Code listing 4.8 in the middle of chapter 8. It's not at the end, it's in here. User squares. You're going to type this up. It's going to start to teach you how to format, how to, the indenting, the line spacing, all of those to make your programs work better than you just randomly attacking it. I don't know what I'm saying. That didn't make much sense, but I think you know what I mean. Okay, the next thing I want to do is ba ba ba. I have a bar down. Let me get out of here. Get out of here. Go back to me. And I don't know if you can see the bottom of my screen or not, but once you install JGrasp, you're going to see a G, and JGrasp is going to open up, and it's going to look something like this. Now, I've attached a video for you to watch how to install JGrasp. But this is what it's going to look like. Where's my mouse? Here it is. When it comes time, you're going to go File, New, Java Program, and you're going to be ready to start typing a program. Okay? You could just start typing one of those code listings up. Import java.util.scanner. That was the one we were just looking at. Line 2 was a blank. Line 3 was a slash with a couple of asterisks. What does that do? Well, that tells the computer, hey, ignore what I'm about to type in here. And you'll learn all that as you go through. But this is JGrasp, and this is what it looks like. When you're ready to compile it, you can hit the green button. It says compile. It doesn't have a name or anything like that, so it's wonky right now. And then here's where you run it. The little red guy with the run, you would click it and run it. Again, it's wonky. We don't have code typed in here other than just that. So this is what JGrasp is going to look like. All right. I just went discard edits. I don't really want to save it. And we're back to me. So that was a little bit of an intro, showed you the syllabus, the D2L page, the navigation bar where a lot of our stuff is going to get uploaded and downloaded. Again, I can go back in there and that's not right. Let me go back in there. Ba, 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 ba. Share. And we were here. And again, here's Dropbox. And when I say code listing 2, and again, this is going to be due, all of the code listings are open. And this will be due at the beginning of class. So when I get ready and click on it, and it says it's not available to the 20th. So let me go back and change the view. Course home. I want to just show you real quick. Course home. I'm not student. Here's what Dropbox looks for me. But if I come to a Dropbox, you're going to see, here's a code listing, chapter 2. You're going to hit edit. Well, I'm going to hit edit. You're not going to hit edit. And it's going to show you which ones I want you to upload. 2.3, 2.6, 2.9, and you'll type it up, and then you'll hit this upload button to upload all 7 of those code listings. Okay. And again, you can't answer me, but so that's just a brief interview of the course. Watch this because there's stuff you have to get done this first week. And I will see you on January 20th. Have a good day.